sharing on a perspective of the mirror still, breaking it down, which is, it's a very lofty, as you know, it's a very lofty frequency as a vibration, what's offering, because it's interdimensional of time and out of time. And we'll break this down a little bit. But I wanted you to share from your perspective of what you woke up with the other morning about, the encounter about favoring your mirror. And then
so last week, and I did this on the live stream that I did for YouTube. I started out with the mirror because I woke up and I heard within my own spirit, bless your mirror. And so I took about 30 minutes, 35 minutes to do that breakdown on a live stream. But and so there's really actually no need to go into it again because I've already done it.
He's gonna knock those keys off.
He is. The cat's being a little turkey butt. So if you hear something land on the floor, it's the cat. He's trying to get our attention, and he's had plenty of it this morning. So you were sharing about, and you did a revelation of the teaching and unfolding of Bless Your Mirror from your perspective. So what I find interesting is in that same time period that day, and again, we don't share our revelations. We either have dream time, and then we spend our time separate in the morning in our excavation, and then we come together. That's what we're doing right now. And so in the same time period, I was awoken and I was breaking down and with the revelation of what the mirror is from my perspective. And so there's a lot in this vibration about how it was speaking to me about a vibrational frequency that establishes holy to holy of holies kind of a language. So what I find amazing is that, and I was just woken up, I think it was yesterday, I woke up at 12:22 a.m. And it got me up. And so I'm specific, I pay attention to those times. I woke up, I didn't even really see the clock, but I went to my computer, and we won't be using my computer till my computer went down. And I think it's connected to where we are, actually. I'm allowing it just to express itself. But I woke at 12:22 a.m. and with the nudging from the spirit that said, the mirror is your cloaking device. There we go. Thank you. Finish the job. Yep, you're done.
It's so funny that he does that. Pens or keys. So I thought it was amazing that it woke me up with that, to say that the mirror is actually your cloaking device. It's like a garment of bending light. It's actually a refraction that we, by our atmosphere, what we surround ourselves with, that we reflect upon that, and in that infraction, or that
scattering of light,
we actually bend it around ourselves, and we actually, so it's the same vibration what the prophets of old and Yeshua would do, is that they were there, then they weren't there, because they knew that they were in time, but they're also out of time. And this is veil language of knowing how to translate what the veil is, metaphysically translate the veil through translation ourselves. This is the job description, is to know that there's a severity of doing this, because you're moving into an interdimensional realm. You're shifting as a priestly order into something that's out of time, and you've been given the generosity of time to perform this level of responsibility as a duty, an order, a mandate, right? Okay. So I find that very interesting. So I'm going to try to come around from an angle of what this is as an ancient order of a mirror, but from my own conception, which is the word for reflection of my mirror. And you are giving your perspective from your mirror, from your reflection, which is the same word, what you've conceived. And so, and it's my point of what I want to get to, so I want to draw a line to this, is that heirship as a seed is established based on navigating your own atmosphere, to circumnavigate yourself, to surround yourself as being present, reflects the future that builds the past. And in this, I mirror myself. The future of origin, the Ancient of Days, behind me is the Ancient of Days, but they're both origins, and I just need the perspective of looking into the Holy of Holies as a future fulfills my past, my origin. So I want to draw a line to this to connect it. You had something this morning I wanted you to share with if you know.
Yeah, I had a champagne moment and Ken said, whoa, it's way too early in the morning for that. Like I said, before 6 o'clock, I'm already spreading out champagne in the house. So when I was looking at the word, the reason why this happened this morning, I was actually putting some timestamps on my live stream last week. And I had finished gathering all of the intel that I needed to on that so I could put the timestamps are, and decided to go to the bathroom. And I don't understand why when I go in the bathroom, it's when Revelation always hits. For some reason, that little room,
It's an interdimensional portal.
that little room tends to be where some big bombs, spiritually come and hit me. And it doesn't matter. It's just, maybe it's just because I'm not thinking, and because I'm not thinking and I'm doing, it gives space for revelation to come. I don't know. I haven't figured that one out.
Oh, I think it's a portal potty.
Oh my God. Okay. Now that's a little too early for that, Mr. Husband. So all of a sudden it hit me that there's an Aramaic word that I've heard. I know that some of you guys have been hearing me say it, and it's connected to the Magdalene and the name Maria or Maria. But then I realized that Mara, it's the mirror. It literally is the mirror. And it's a word that is translated as sovereign, but also as Lord. And so what hit me is, and this is the part that I really wanted to, I'm not going to go into a deep dive on this, but I really want to be able to collapse and refill, because when Sarah called Abraham, my Lord, and I know Ken has his side on that he's seeing this too, from an immature standpoint of how we would see this. But when Sarah called Abraham, my Lord, it wasn't the way the church has presented that women are supposed to submit to their husbands because we're the cause of all the turmoil and chaos, because Adam or Eve ate the forbidden fruit and then gave it to Adam. And so we've always been projected upon us that we are the weaker of the sexes. We're the cause of it. We caused original sin, and that is not the case. So I want to collapse this and refill it up so that we can get rid of that once and for all, as connected to why Sarah would say, my Lord, or even why the disciples would say to Ishu, my Lord. What is this? Well, I wrote it down how it's commonly seen in the Aramaic form, which in the common language at the time, it was Aramaic. So the disciples would have said this to Ishu. Mary Magdalene would have said this to Ishu. And this is what Sarah would have said to Abraham, Mari, Mari. I went into great detail what the mirror is. That is the outward reflection of what is happening. What we are seeing in another individual is giving us the power, there's that little yod, to do our own shadow work. And what I mean by that is, if I were to call Ken right now, I definitely wouldn't say my Lord. No offense, husband, but I wouldn't say my Lord in the way that that frequency has come across to us in English. I could say in a loving relationship with you in Racham or even Huba, more appropriately Huba, I would call you Mari. And I would call you Mari because you are my mirror. So bitterly I look at myself through you, which then gives me the ability to see my own shadow so I can do something. But when I see my own shadow, typically it's because in the state of who I am, if I see you as Mari, you are reflecting back to me that which you are, but also that which I am not. So there's a level of respect and honor when I say Mari to you or to anybody else. Not that I'm subjecting myself to you. I'm subjecting myself to my own judgment.
Right.
Self-adjudication.
Yes.
so that I can see the work that I need to do with my shadow.
To arise,
You know,
to rise as the sovereign.
exactly. Self-mastery.
This is
So there's one case where I could say Mari, as in I'm needing to learn something here. But then there's the other side of saying Mari or Maria, where we have unified and I'm seeing myself in an elevated position of that oneness as that sameness.
Mhm.
So Mari would be, thank you, I'm honoring you for being my mirror. I see the work that I need to be done, that needs to be done. Maria is, thank you that I see the light of the quantum realm that is within you, the Shekinah glory,
Mhm.
because it's the same that I have.
yes,
Mari versus Maria. And it all stems from the mirror.
yeah.
So this reflection allows us to enter into the place where we rise up as Ra, and we are a sovereign standing in lordship. So please, I hope you guys hear that.
So I
To
want
me is a big deal to have that clarified up, because one more thing. I've actually met a woman who actually calls her husband this, not Mari. She, in the English version, because how it was written that Sarah called Abraham my Lord, she literally would call her husband that, and very narcissistic relationship, extremely abusive. And that's what she did to try to get honor and respect from her husband by calling him my Lord. Now you know what it is.
Okay, yeah. So, and again, this is solely dependent. Sovereignty is ingathered incrementally until we realize that we're seeing eye to eye. This
Right. Mari versus Maria.
there's a difference between looking up and then looking down, or looking as completely balanced. And so
Right.
when we know center, then we'll know the reflection is completely balanced. And that's why even in this mirror is sight. It's solely dependent on how you're able to see this vibration to come into the measure of one standing.
So in other words, if I see you as being lovely, it's because I see myself as being lovely.
Yeah, or yes, but it goes deep. Yes, and
It always goes deeper.
it causes, there's a reflection that is still, I'm unique. Sovereign is very unique as an expression, and so you're seeing still a level of unique. We're learning how to integrate. Even sovereigns coming face to face are going to have some conflict, even when they're seeing eye to eye, because they're unique in their expression. But the difference between immature and mature sovereign is a willingness to conceive another, right? And so I can see you balance, but I'm going like, interesting, her uniqueness is still her expression of who she is as a sum, which is different than mine. But in the reflection, I respect, I see you, and I'm granting you. Not that it's not a permission thing. It simply is realization. Again, conception, realization. Ra sees and respects a potential reflection that is not likened to me, but it is. It's just I can't contain the vastness of all, and so I see all's reflection in you, and that I respect and honor.
And in doing that, this is where we would not want to bring harm to one another,
right?
Because really, that which we love as love, why would you ever want to harm it?
Right.
And so if I'm bringing harm to you, I'm actually bringing harm to myself.
Right. So
it changes
yeah,
everything.
and this is a very lofty talk. We could take this down many avenues to really extrapolate out what this word is. But in this word too is where we get there's a tone in this as a vibration, as the prefix to what Yerushalayim is, because this is Yara. This is to flow. To flow is this, as Lord, as sovereign, is a means, and this goes to reign. This is as much in this word. We have reign, which is a language of cycle. Reign is not something that we have to contain to say, oh, rain. No, it means it comes from. No, it comes from the whole cycle of in time. Rain is through the process of distillation. Distillation is inculcation that produces a flow. Flow is the collective knowing how to circumnavigate oneself as an atmosphere, and hopefully you're centered in this procedure. That's a sovereign. So
there is Mara, right? So we got, how interesting, because if all you had to do is, you could change that to a Loa, but that's another topic altogether. Mara is the individual looking, right?
Yes.
Because the mem is here. When it becomes Miriam, there's my Lord, but then we have the collective that's been added.
Yes, as a people. Yes, it's
Right. So the mirror, the people outside of us are a mirror to us as where the collective is at, based on our individual perception.
Yes, it's based on, yes, it's a job description that we're all doing. And then I'm trying to get to a point where we're going to comprehend what it is to be naturalized as a state of being, as a nation.
Exactly. Divine nation.
Divine nations. That's what I'm trying to get to on this, what this is, as only sovereigns can establish one island. If I'm looking down, I'm looking at what I should see. There's a group of islands. I'm looking down at a tree in the middle of an island because it would probably be centered in itself if it knew the positioning. And so this is actually a nation that's got water flowing between it, right, as a body of water. It's kind of that language, very cellular, very
Oh,
silent.
absolutely.